Boys, today we're doing a live event inside of the Trenches Discord server. Guys, I just want to go over some very foundational self-improvement stuff today. This is the first time I'm doing this on my Discord. I've not been live for a while, ever since I stopped doing my video gamer Twitch streams. So I thought I'm going to keep it nice and relaxed. Foundational stuff, self-improvement, that's what we're all here for. And then we're going to take live questions at the end. So I hope that sounds good. And if you don't know, my name is Sam Harborne, and my mission in life right now is to help as many young men out of life's trenches as I possibly can, because I am a man who very much so struggled, as a lot of you might know, with mental health, my relationships, business side of things, my fitness, and you could say that I'm still fighting in the trenches to this day. I think we're all fighting in the trenches, and that's the purpose of this movement. A lot of guys, they start to gain results for themselves, and they don't really turn back to the trenches. They don't want to see the mess that a lot of young men are in. They don't want to go back and lend their hand down into the trenches to try and lift their brothers up with them. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to go back and I want to help guys out in the same way that I had good men helping me out back when I was struggling. So that's our movement. If you're not already in the Discord and you're watching this on YouTube, join a Discord. This is a live event. There's people watching this live, and there's going to be a live Q&A at the end. And that could be you next time, because you're too slow. But next time you could be. So guys, foundational self-improvement 101. The first thing you do in the morning is wake up. And in my opinion, this is the most important part of your day. I've recently adapted the mindset of waking up as a little bitch every day. And that's not necessarily on some very negative self-image talk type shit, because I know a lot of maybe guys in the Discord as well who really struggle with speaking bad about themselves. And I don't think that's a good thing at all. But objectively, we wake up every day, guys, and we're not the man that we were last night. Let's say the day prior, we had spent the day conquering. We fucking smashed our gym. We smashed all our work. We smashed our girlfriend. We wake up and all of that momentum is weirdly lost. You're not the same man. You're fallible. More likely to reach for your phone. Okay, that's not a good thing. You've lost that sense of clarity that you had. I don't know if you guys can relate to this. Maybe you can. The night prior, before I go to sleep, I'm getting so many awesome ideas, especially if I've had a bad day. I'm like really thinking, how can I make tomorrow fucking awesome? How can I just smash my day? And I'm like, okay, I've got to do this and this and this, and I got to wake up with this energy, and I'm not allowed to touch my phone for this amount of time. But then you wake up the next day and you've forgotten that mentality, and then you reach for your phone. This is what I mean when I say every day you wake up as a little bitch, because with this mindset, it's not a mindset to destroy our self-image. It's actually a mindset to motivate us to prove to ourselves who we really are. You have to prove yourself every single day. You could have went to bed last night as an absolute fucking champion of the world. You got to do it again today. And that's the point of this. It's not to say, yeah, we're on some negative self-talk shit. Okay, I really don't like that. I don't like when young men talk negatively about themselves. It's not good, and beliefs are very important. There's an analogy I like, which is called eating the frog. You guys might have heard it before. You have to eat shit, and you also have to eat a cake, right? Which one would you rather do first? To me, the clear answer is I'd rather just eat the shit first. Then at least afterwards, I'll have a nice cake to cleanse my palate. Let's say you eat the cake first, you go on your phone, you get your dopamine, you play your League of Legends. You're going to just be dreading the entire time you're on your phone, you're playing your League of Legends. You're going to be thinking about the fact that after this, you have to eat shit. That's not even good. So you're not even enjoying the good thing. You're actually going to hate yourself. You're going to feel like, fuck this guy. He traded in my ability to cleanse my palate. Yeah, I have to eat this shit. Of course, we all have to eat shit as men. But he should have ate the shit first. Why has he left it to me now? You're going to have this negative self-image. That's why I say you have to prove yourself every single morning. I'm not going to tell you guys the morning routine. Here's the morning routine. You have to go on this morning routine. Otherwise, you are a pussy, L plus ratio, so on and so forth. I think objectively, I can say that going on your phone first thing in the morning is pretty much always a terrible idea. You'll get a lot of guys on YouTube saying things with a bit too much conviction. You know, you have to have your morning like this. Otherwise, you're a pussy. I don't agree with that. I think there's a lot of nuances. I think some people do great waking up at 4 a.m. I don't. I like waking up at 5 a.m. I like waking up when the sun's up. There's nuance, differences between us. I think objectively though, if we're talking about our mornings, to have an optimal morning, I don't expect any of you boys watching this video on YouTube or in the Discord live event right now to be starting your day looking at your fucking phone. The next step to actually build your foundations upon your self-improvement. And the reason why we're doing this, guys, is because you might be building, but then your foundations are shaky, and then your foundations fall, and then everything you've been building falls, and you rubber band back. These are your foundations. We have to reclaim our mind. Our mind has been hijacked. What you're exposing yourself to subconsciously is actually going to shape your reality. You might be listening to this right now, and on your second monitor you have like a video game up, you're playing Hearthstone. I know for a fact I used to play Hearthstone all the time, and this is the sort of thing where I would absolutely have Hearthstone up on a second monitor. I look back at those times with, I have a lot of self-love. I have a deep understanding of why I was that way, but does it not make you at least concerned or embarrassed about the fact that your attention span is so hijacked and your brain is so fried, and Mark Zuckerberg owns you so bad that you genuinely cannot just pay attention to something for, how long has this been going on for, like 15 minutes? Before opening up something else to stimulate yourself? That's a really big issue. You can ask any guy, any successful guy, any guy who's built something amazing, where he gets his best ideas. And he'll say something like, in the shower. Do you know why he says that? Because you can't have your fucking phone in the shower. You can't be stimulating yourself in the shower unless you are a certified nitty and you have like a waterproof bag that you put your phone in. In that case, bro, I'm sorry, you are too far gone. I want you guys to picture this. Every time you get bored and you AFK reach for this, because I do it often, but I've become a lot more conscious of it. I want you to imagine Mark Zuckerberg putting you in a collar and taking you out for a walk, because that's exactly what he's doing. You are a fucking dog. He owns you, man. I say that, I want it to piss you off. I actually want it to piss you off, and I hope you understand I'm not trying to offend you or annoy you or be too abrasive, but that visual really helps me. Every time I reach for my phone, Zuckerberg's putting me in a fucking collar, he's taking me for a walk. That annoys me. And that makes me think like, oh yeah, you know what, Sam, you're probably right. Like in a weird subconscious way, he kind of is fucking owning me right now because he owns my brain. When you're watching stuff like this, guys, self-improvement is now at the forefront of your mind. Because of that as well, it's also going to be shaping your subconscious. Isn't that so much better than having whatever you're seeking whenever you open up your Instagram, poisoning your mind? Exposing yourself to more things like this and less things like that is foundational. Reclaiming your mind is foundational. And building off that, making our brain our friend. This upsets me a lot in my Discord. I see a lot of negative self-talk, a lot. And it reminds me of me. I used to be so hard on myself. I used to be mired with many limiting beliefs. I used to feed Mr. Defeat very often. What do I mean by that? When you characterize thoughts, it's actually a lot easier to label them. So you have a thought, it's like, yeah, it's a negative thought. What if you named a character in your brain which generates these negative thoughts? And you could just be like, oh, there goes Mr. Defeat once again telling me I can't go to the gym because my legs hurt. There's Mr. Defeat. It becomes a lot easier to wrap your head around the fact like, oh yeah, like I'm not actually owned by my thoughts. And that's what Mr. Defeat is. And also Mr. Triumph on the flip side. That fucking G, that dog that you all have inside of you. Not literally, I hope not. It really helps to have good people around you, because for the longest time I wasn't actually conscious of the fact that my brain wasn't on my team. I don't know why that is. I've not really assessed why that is. It's probably down to some form of conditioning, bullied at school, having a lot of negative self-talk people around you. It's very sticky energy, and you might be feeding the fuck out of Mr. Defeat, and Mr. Triumph is just starving. Is starving for attention. Please, for the love of God, feed me something. Whenever I had an idea, a good idea, which could potentially change my life, change my circumstances when I was really down bad in the trenches, I would always have Mr. Defeat pipe the fuck up. For example, with my video editing, which is the business model which completely changed my life. My friend told me, Sam, you're talented. You should offer video editing as a service, because I was just doing it for fun. And it took me 9 months to actually begin that process. It took me 9 months of feeding Mr. Defeat before I decided, well, I have nothing to fucking lose anyway. And that's the power of your thoughts. And that is the importance of feeding positive thoughts and not even entertaining negative thoughts. Just laugh at it. There's Mr. fucking Defeat again. He's probably got smelly breath, no hose. He's just the worst version of yourself. The worst version of yourself, and he keeps piping up like you give a shit about his opinion. He doesn't have what you want, so why are you listening to him? I hope that helps you guys with the characterization of your thoughts, because it really helps me. Moving on. The masculine pursuit of excellence, guys. If I asked many of you what your goals are for the next 6 months of your life, I wonder how many of you would have very airy-fairy responses, and how many of you diligently not only watch my channel, but also take action on it. Because a few weeks ago, I uploaded a banger video. Map the next 6 months of your life out in 16 minutes. So in 16 minutes, you will have a clear pathway for the next fucking 6 months of your life. For 16 minutes. I wonder how many of you took that advice. I'm gonna link this to you guys in the live event, this video. I want you guys to watch that after the event. So open it up in a new tab, watch it after the event. It's a very important video. A lot of people, they think they have goals. The reality is they don't. They have daydreams. I want a car. I want to make money through video editing, perhaps. I want to make money through copywriting. That is not a goal. If you want to learn how to make goals, that video is absolutely required viewing. It's a really good video. It's a goal-setting guideline which I followed diligently, and it helps you make actual, tangible, masculine goals, because we're men and we thrive when we're pursuing excellence. If we're not pursuing excellence, the devil makes use of idle hands, and I think that's a lot of young men's issue. They don't have any sense of mission. There's no sense of mission. And what happens, you do end up idle on Instagram, on fucking Snapchat. I don't know why you're on Snapchat, boys. I hope none of you are on Snapchat, because that's so sus if you are, man, honestly. Let's move on. Next up, boys, getting around the right people. If you want to reach the upper echelons of excellence, you cannot do it alone. And I know you hear this very often, and you might be rolling your eyes. Here we go again. Oh, he's gonna talk about fucking brotherhood. Oh, fucking hell. He's gonna try and sell me a brotherhood course or whatever the fuck. No, I'm not gonna sell you a brotherhood course, don't worry. And I do agree, it gets a little bit fucking jarring sometimes. But there's a lot of truth to it, guys. You really cannot do this shit alone. You don't want to do this shit alone. It's fucking boring. So let me put it this way. If you're obsessive over self-improvement, you want to find guys who are also obsessive over self-improvement. If you're in the Discord and you're in this live event, excellent. You're in the right spot, because everyone here is fucking dialed in on their self-improvement. And if you're not, then you're just gonna get fucking booed out anyway, because you probably like shit posting, and I don't know, that shit's fucking lame. If you're obsessive over making money, for example, through video editing, it's weird because a lot of guys in that position, they get this weird scarcity mindset where they think, no, I don't want to hang out with other video editors because they'll now steal from me. They'll steal my knowledge, and they'll steal my potential clients. They'll steal my riz. They'll steal my editing style. And you could translate this to any profession. Oh, no, I don't want to hang out with other copywriters because they'll steal my copyright, so on and so forth. It's actually a really fucking negative mindset. It's a very selfish mindset, and it's probably why a lot of guys remain stuck. If you are trying to pursue excellence, you need other guys to feed off. You're feeding off each other's energy. That is what it's about. And even if you're not obsessive over something, and this is when you start to get to the higher levels of networking, you want to find guys who are obsessive over other things so that you can feed off them as well. You find guys like that by first mastering your own thing. So I'll give you the real life example of me. I was a bozo. I was a complete bozo. No hose, fucking didn't brush my teeth for 2 weeks at a time. No style, no money, no friends, no prospects, no fucking marketable skills outside of video editing. When I went all in on my craft with video editing and I mastered it, my entire life transformed. And that granted me access to other men who were on a level too. They were doing bits in their own thing. The awesome thing about that is, because I've mastered my own craft, I've gained the respect of these other people who have mastered their own crafts, and now we can feed off each other. So what a lot of guys do, they see people that they want to be like, people they want to emulate, and they see where they are now, and they're like, well, they do a bit of everything. They're good at everything, so I need to try and get good at everything. Actually a fallacy. If you look back to what they did at the beginning, which is what you should do, it is that they mastered one thing, and then using their mastery of that one thing, they networked with other masters of their thing, and then they became a multifaceted G. Okay? You don't try and do too much at the same time. It's very good to have these people around you, because for me, I'm completely obsessive over content creation right now. I don't have time to obsess over the gym and macros and the new fitness studies and the supplements. I don't have time. So the awesome thing about that is I have friends who obsess over that shit, many friends, and I learn from them, which is awesome. And on the flip side, they learn from me, because I am obsessive over video editing and content creation and I guess community building. I think a lot of guys, they think about what they want. I want to hang out with Hamza, for example. I want to hang out with Hamza. Sam, get me in a call with Hamza. Right? But I don't think about what Hamza might want. I'm just using Hamza as an example. But like any person that you want to hang out with, what do they want? Would they want to hang out with you right now? It sounds shallow, okay, when I say it like that, but like, what do you have to offer them? And it doesn't have to be shallow. When you start scaling the hierarchy of networking, if I meet someone and they haven't yet mastered they're not on some sort of grind set. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just, you don't have to be like super dialed or anything like that, but like if they're not even thinking, if they're not even lucid enough to think like, oh yeah, I should probably be trying to master a skill and monetize it and make some money, I have a fucking hard time respecting them. And as you continue to scale up, you'll find that actually progressively overloads. Someone all the way up here probably looks at me and thinks, that guy's a fucking retard. Why is he not scaling his business to 1 million a month? Is he a pussy? Is he some sort of pond scum? It's just how things go. I'd like to think I'm immune to that, but I'm a fucking fallible human being who sins like no one else. But I'll say for a fact, if I meet someone and they're not even conscious enough and unplugged enough to know, I should probably be working very hard as a young man every single day. I can't respect them. I wouldn't want to hang out with them. Something to know as well is that your day ones are super valuable, man. As you continue along your journey of self-improvement, you might, if you're lucky, have 1 or 2 people from your past life, let's say, who you still really fuck with and they're willing to like climb with you and be on that journey, and that's really awesome. Those guys can help you really stay grounded. At the same time, it's very dangerous. It's helpful because it'll prevent a Mike Tyson-like situation. If you guys know, when Mike Tyson's original coach passed away, he fell into the hands of a slimy, sleazy little fuck who ruined his career. That's bad. That's what your day ones are good for, because they'll stop that from happening. What they could be bad for, though, they become spiritually misaligned and they start trying to like nostalgia bait you into being a loser again. Man, Sam, I like how you're like doing bits and stuff and you fucking have a cool business going and you've got a sense of higher purpose and you've got a beautiful girlfriend who you love very much, but don't you miss the days where we would just sort of like smoke weed and play Rocket League together, man? Those were the days, man. Those were the days, right? It can be very bad for that. And because it's an emotional argument, you can be fallible to that, so you should be very aware of that as well. Are your friends pushing you forward? That's a very simple equation that you have to continually ask yourself, because again, people do become misaligned as you carry on your journey. Leading into this perfectly actually is, on the flip side, you need to cut out negative influences ruthlessly. This was one of the hardest pills I had to swallow on my self-improvement, because I had no friends, no true friends who treated me somewhat well throughout my entire school life. I had like Discord friends who I'd hang out with who treated me pretty okay, but they weren't good influences and they were very negative, quite nihilistic. And at some point I realized that if I wanted to continue climbing this mountain, climbing out of this trench, I would have to shake these crabs who were trying to pull me down off my fucking legs and let go. And these were friends who I'd been friends with since silly young, like 13, 14 years old. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I can't hang out with these people anymore. I can't join the Discord server and talk to them anymore. Because another very interesting thing is that once you improve, let's say you disappeared off the map right now, you despawned for 6 months, and then you grew a fuck ton, and you joined back that Discord server that you haven't been a part of for 6 months. There's a phenomena where people will treat you as if you were at your lowest, even though you're up here now. They will still treat you like that little bitch, that little video gamer bitch, even though you might be a Chad now. And if you want to update your self-image, which I assume you do, you can't hang out with those people anymore, and that's a very hard truth. I also want to talk about these YouTube channels, these fucking cringe YouTube channels, which do like these react content. Reacting to cringe alpha males. Cringe alpha male morning routine. Look how cringe he is, guys. Ha 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 ha, cringe alpha male. Don't get me wrong, there is some cringe out there, but you'll find a lot of these guys, they're reaching for straws trying to make content, and they're not even being authentic anymore, because you'll find that if you do some digging, they do the same alpha male shit that they're taking the piss out of in their videos to be competitive in their own field. Think about it. They're doing YouTube videos. They're trying to garner attention. That is probably the most important and competitive field that you could possibly be in right now. You don't think that they're not implementing their cringe alpha male strategies to try and garner attention? You don't think they're doing their cringe morning routines and all of this stuff? It's ridiculous. It's very disingenuous, and it's just clown shit. They're just straight up clowns. So stop watching that garbage. It's not cringe to want to improve yourself. Don't get me wrong, you can go off the deep end and you can become cringe, but it's a fine line. Okay, it's a fine line that we all have to walk. But don't worry, if I spot any of you here being cringe, I will call you out. This also includes women not respecting you. There was a young man in my Discord a few days ago talking about how he's friends with 2 women and all they do is like sort of weirdly disrespect him, talk over him, tell him how they're banging other dudes. He's friends with these girls, he's not banging them. I mean, that's an issue in itself. 2 things. 1, why are you friends with women? What reason do you guys have to have female friends? Because if you were being totally honest with yourself, if the circumstances were right, you would have sex with them now. So are they really friends? Is it more likely that you're playing this weird, I'm going to say it, beta male game where you're sort of hovering around, waiting for your opportunity to sweep in? The friend who turned into lover. Oh, it was just a one-night thing type shit. That's probably more like it. I don't think I've ever had a female friend. I mean, I have acquaintances who I chat with sometimes, but I've never had a friend, like a genuine friend who I speak to often, who is a female, who I didn't want to fuck. Just like... And the reason that is because while women can offer very unique takes on things sometimes, which is a novelty in itself, and yeah, you might seek a novel opinion occasionally, but I wouldn't consider that a friend. They just don't make as good of a friend. If I'm being honest, they don't. They lack the foundations of male relationships, like loyalty. They're not necessarily like loyal to the fucking bone, okay? And that's not something that we can respect as men. Their friendship is a lot more conditional in that sense. But on top of that, you just don't fucking relate to them that much. Why would you want them as a friend? So anyway, this young chap in the Discord, 1, why are you friends with them? 2, why the hell are you even friends with anyone who disrespects you like that? Why are you friends with 2 women who gloat about how they have sex with other men, with men in general? Like, that is not something that a woman of quality talks about ever. They're not talking about how they have sex. Even if they're in a relationship, which is godly, they're not talking about their sex. Why on earth are you friends with them? So that's another negative influence to look out for, guys. Also, family. The reason I live in Thailand is because my relationship with my family is at its best when I am 8,000 miles across the globe. And it's a shame that it's that way, but it is what it is. And at some point, after many years of trying to make things work and figure things out, I just realized it wasn't going to work out that way. And the best thing I could do is live an awesome life and find a sense of purpose and get out of this country, get out of this house, get out of this environment, and stop being depressed. And that's working out very well for me. You can't cut off your family. I haven't cut off my family, but we have, a bit of a turbulent relationship sometimes. It's up and down. But you should certainly consider limiting your exposure to them if it's an issue. And I wouldn't feel guilty about that at all either. After all, we're young men, and young men have to leave the nest. They have to pursue their own sense of mission. It's bound to happen anyway. And I just want to quickly mention people who take away responsibility from you. So people who are very quick to label you. Sam, don't worry about it, bro. You don't have to tidy your room today. You're depressed. Things like that. No, Sam, don't worry. You don't have to get a job. You're depressed. You're anxious. You got clinical depression, Sam. The doctor said so. Don't worry about it. Avoid these people at all costs as well, because they are stealing your life force away from you in real time. They're poisoning you. They might not realize it. I would hope they're not doing it on purpose. I don't think they are, but they're poisoning you as a man. They're taking away your power and your responsibility over your own life, and they're passing it off to some entity which you have no control over. And if you have no control over anything, then you're a feather in the wind and you're fucked. You're completely fucked. So avoid people like that for sure. Okay, guys, the reason why you're all here and the reason why you're watching this YouTube video is because hopefully you've realized how important it is to have these things reinforced into your head. Maybe everything I said in this video, in this live event, isn't even new to you. You didn't even learn anything new, novel. Maybe it's just things that you've heard before. A lot of people don't understand. There is a lot of value in having this shit drilled into your skull. It's no secret that my main video editing client was Hamza Ahmed, which is a self-improvement YouTuber. You could argue the biggest one in the space. My job was to edit his videos every single day, which funnily enough meant that I was having his positive message, his mostly positive message. I don't agree with everything, but I was getting that drilled into my skull every single day. If you think about what editing is, I had to go back, rewatch it 4 times, 5 times, the same video I'd watch 5 times every single day before I rendered it to make sure it was perfect, there was no mistakes, it's funny, it flows well, it paces well. And I am an autist like that. I did watch the video 3 or 4 times. By the time I was done with the video, fun fact, I was convinced it was garbage because I hated the video so much because I had just saturated my brain with it. And every time I put it out, it was a banger. Nevertheless, you can see my point. I was drilling this information into my skull every day. And I believe that is incredibly valuable, and that is why I have such good positive beliefs instilled in my head right now. What really annoys me is when people are very dismissive and they say, well, self-improvement's fucking finished now, bro. It's super oversaturated, it's cringe. Just read books, read this book, do that, whatever, right? It really annoys me because people who say this, they're self-snitching as guys who never actually gave a shit about the movement in the first place. They saw it as a business opportunity, and because it's fallen off, man. No one cares. I'm not getting enough views to give a shit about it anymore. They're self-snitching. To me, it's never been a fucking business. Obviously, I run a business in the back end, but it's actually just a completely separate entity now. Self-improvement hasn't fallen off. There's still more men, young men, more than ever, completely lost in the sauce, jacking off to hentai, playing video games, scrolling social media, living like to 1% of their potential. And that makes me deeply fucking sad. So I don't know how you could possibly say that self-improvement has fallen off and it's not interesting anymore. Fucking ridiculous. It makes me furious to hear that. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And it's either you're self-snitching and you don't give a shit about it anyway and you're just greedy, or you are dumb as fuck and you don't understand the importance of having this shit drilled into your skull every single day and having new perspectives and having new, relatable people relay the information to you in their own unique way. Dummies. Even if there's nothing new in this video, you're probably going to walk away from it as a better man, because perhaps you've been reminded of the importance of something that I said, and you're going to apply it 5% more into your life, and that makes you just that much better. That's why I do what I do. That's why today I spent 3 hours in a cafe making this presentation, making this event, putting together my shitty software to try and make it work without technical hiccups. That's why I'm doing this live event in my Discord for free, no strings attached, because I care about the movement. I care about results. I care about helping young men out of the trench. We'll end it there, boys. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna take questions now, so